are using AI to make YouTube videos, there's a pretty good chance you are breaking the law and you don't even know it. And I am talking about the fun creative tools, not Midjourney or Sora or 11 Labs. I am talking about a brand new web of laws and platform rules that has descended on creator economy, putting anyone who is unprepared at serious legal and financial risk. In the next few minutes, I am going to walk you through the essential IT guidelines you need to know. Put in place now to protect your YouTube channel. Massive fines and keep your content from getting shut down. It all starts with one thing you are probably missing: the invisible legal tripwires that now surround every single piece of AI generated content you upload. This isn't a scare tactic, this is your survival guide. This takes a new reality for creators. Let's be real about what's happening. For the last couple of years, generative AI has been the Wild West, an absolute exclusive of creative freedom with zero rules. You could generate anything, say anything, post anything. Well, that party is officially over. Regulators, platforms, and the public all woke up to the fact that AI can not only create but it can also deceive. The result: a global crackdown with creators like us caught right in the middle. We are seeing a huge shift from a move fast and break things mindset to one that's all about disclose, document, and defend everything. The heart of this new reality is one simple idea: transparency. The world is demanding to know when it's talking to or watching a machine, and now that demand is written into law. The biggest piece of legislation you need to know about is the European Union's AI Act. And don't make the mistake of thinking that just because it's a European law, it wouldn't touch you. The internet is global, your audience is global, and the EU AI Act has what's called extraterritorial reach. If your videos can be watched in the EU and if you are on YouTube, they can, then you are playing in their sandbox. The AI Act is rolling out in phases. Key prohibitions already kicked in back in early 2025. By August 2026, the vast majority of its rules, including critical transparency obligations for content creators, will be fully active and enforceable. These aren't suggestions, they are legal commands with staggering fines. For the most serious violations, penalties can go up to 35 million euros and 7% of a company's global annual turnover. For an individual creator, a fine like that isn't a business expense, it's a life changing catastrophe. But it's not just the EU. In the United States, there isn't one single federal AI law yet. Don't let that fool you. The Federal Trade Commission, or FTC, is on high alert. The agency has made it crystal clear it will use its existing powerful authority to go after unfair or deceptive practices and failing to disclose that your content is made by AI and is now firmly in their crosshairs. The FTC has launched initiatives like Operation AI Complex and is actively investigating AI related deception. They don't need a new law to come after you. They can and will use the ones they have had for decades. And it's trickling down. In 2025, New York enacted a groundbreaking law that hits advertisers with civil penalties for using synthetic performers. AI generated people in ads without a clear disclosure. As of early 2026, lawmakers in at least 45 states have introduced bills targeting AI generated media, with many already on the books focusing on deepfakes in politics or non consensual images. Finally, and most immediately for us, is YouTube itself. The platform isn't waiting around, it has rolled out its own mandatory AI disclosure rules. YouTube isn't banning AI. In fact, they are building their own AI tools. What they are banning is deception. They are cracking down on what they call AI flood. Low effort, mass produced, inauthentic content that's missing a human touch. Fail to follow their disclosure rules, and you could face demonetization, content removal, channel strikes, or even getting kicked out of the partner program. This is the new landscape. It's a minefield of legal, financial, and platform risks. But you can navigate it. You just need the map. That's what we are going to build today. We will break it down into four critical pillars: transparency and labeling, data privacy and intellectual property, regulatory compliance, and content quality with human oversight. Section 1: The Guideline of Radical Transparency and Labeling. This is the single most important, most urgent change you need to make. If you forget everything else in this video, you have to implement this part immediately. The days of passing off AI content as human made are gone. The new prime directive is label everything. What does that mean in practice? It means two things: labels for your audience, what humans can read, and metadata for the machines, what computers can read. First, the human readable labels. This is all about telling your viewers clearly and obviously when they are looking at or listening to something made or heavily modified by AI. YouTube has made this incredibly simple, which means there's no excuse for not doing it. When you upload a video, in the details section, there is a new toggle. You must answer the question: does your content include altered or synthetic media? This is not optional. Let's get specific about what YouTube says you must disclose. According to their policy, you have to label your content if it makes a real person to say or do something they didn't. This is the classic deepfake. If you use AI to make a celebrity look like they are endorsing your product, you have to disclose it. Fail to do so, and you are not just breaking a policy, you are wading into serious legal territory. Alters footage of a real event or place. Did you use AI to add a UFO to a city skyline that looks like real phone footage? You have to disclose it. Presenting synthetic scenes of events that didn't happen is a huge target of these new rules. Generates a realistic looking person, place, or event that never existed but could be mistaken for real. This is a big one. Maybe you created a photorealistic video of a historical event where no footage exists, or you have got a completely synthetic spokesperson who looks and sounds like a real person. If a reasonable viewer could be fooled, you have to label it. See the common thread. Could a viewer be misled? It's not about what you intended, it's about the potential for confusion. What don't you need to label? Just as importantly, YouTube has clarified what's exempt. You do not need to use the disclosure tool if you are using AI for prediction help, like generating scripts, brainstorming ideas, or creating automatic captions. Using AI tools for basic editing like color correction or audio cleanup. Using clearly unrealistic or animated viewers if your video is obviously a cartoon. No one's going to think it's real footage. The line is drawn at realism and the potential to deceive. Using AI to make your video better is fine. Using AI to make your video deceptively realistic needs a label. What happens if you don't label it? So, what happens if you just ignore this? YouTube's enforcement is a sliding scale. First, they might just apply the label for you, but they wouldn't be happy about it, and you will probably get a warning. Keep ignoring the rules and the things escalate. They can pull monetization from your video. They can even suspend you from the YouTube partner program entirely. In severe cases, especially for content that violates other policies like harassment, they will remove the video and issue a channel strike. 3 strikes and you are out. This isn't a hypothetical. YouTube is actively filtering for inauthentic content and demonetizing channels that look like they are churning out low effort videos without a human in the loop. Don't get caught in that net. Label your work. Beyond YouTube, the machine readable future with C2PA. While YouTube's label is for people, a second, more technical layer of transparency is coming and you need to know about it. Machine readable provenance. The leading standard here is called C2PA, which stands for the Coalition for Content, Provenance and Authenticity. Think of C2PA as a secure digital birth certificate for your content. It's metadata that gets cryptographically signed and baked right into the file of an image, video, or audio clip. This metadata can show what AI model made it, who made it, and what edits were made along the way. Heavy hitters like Adobe, Microsoft, Intel, and Google are all behind this. Adobe has already built C2PA into its major creative cloud products, and critically, the EU AI Act basically mandates this kind of machine readable marking for AI generated content right now in mid of 2026. C2PA is still in its early days, but you need to see it for what it is. A look at the very near future. Platforms will start reading these digital watermarks automatically to verify content. Your action plan for transparency. Audit your workflow. Map out your creation process. Where does AI come in? Make a list. Does any of it fit YouTube's mandatory disclosure categories? Use the YouTube label always. Make it a non-negotiable part of your upload checklist. If you are ever in doubt, just disclose. The penalty for over disclosing is 0. The penalty for under disclosing is severe. Write a clear descriptive policy on top of the YouTube label. Add a sentence to your video descriptions. Something simple like this video includes content generated or created, significantly altered, using artificial intelligence. It builds trust. Start exploring C2PA complaint tools. Begin looking at software that supports C2PA. When you are picking an AI tool, check if they are part of the C2PA coalition. Adopting these tools now will future proof of your entire workflow. Transparency isn't about admitting a weakness anymore. In this new era, it's your greatest strength. It's how you build trust. Follow the rules and stay on the right side of the law. Section 2. Data privacy and the intellectual property nightmare. If transparency is the most visible new rule, this next part covers the most dangerous invisible ones. The data you feed into AI and the content that comes out messing this up can lead to brutal legal fights over copyright and crushing fines for privacy violations. Guideline 1: your AI model is not a vault, it's a public form. This is a core mindset shift. When you type a prompt or upload a file to a public AI tool, you have to assume the data is no longer private. Many AI companies use your inputs to train their models, which creates two huge risks. First, personally identifiable information. Laws like GDPR in Europe and various state laws in the US are incredibly strict about handling personal data, names, emails, phone numbers, locations. If you use AI to summarize customer feedback and you paste those emails into a public chatbot, you have likely just committed a serious data breach. You have shared personal data with a third party, the AI company, without consent. GDPR fines are the stuff of nightmares, reaching up to 4% of global revenue. You want no part of that. Second, confidential information. This is about your own secrets. Pasting a script for an unannounced project into an AI for feedback. Uploading your channel's financial data to get business insights. You could be feeding your most valuable info into a system that might just spit it out for someone else someday. The action plan for data input. No sensitive data policy. Make this a hard rule. Never ever input financial data, health info, or any other confidential material into a public AI tool unless you have an enterprise level agreement that grants privacy. If you have to use AI to analyze data, scrub it off, all identifying details first. Replace names with placeholders like customer name. This is a core principle of data privacy. Vet your tools. Don't just jump on the newest AI trend. Read the privacy. Look for language about how they handle your data. Do they use it for training? If you can't find a clear message, assume the worst. Guideline 2: the copyright. You might not own your AI content. This is the one that shocks most creators. Just because an AI made it for you doesn't mean you own the copyright. The US Copyright Office has been very clear on this. Copyright is for works of human authorship, a work generated purely by a machine without significant creative input from a person can't be copyrighted. A landmark 2023 decision about a graphic novel called Zarya of the Dawn. The Copyright Office delivered a bombshell. The author wrote the story but used Midjourney for the images. The ruling. The copyright covered the book as a whole, the human written text, and the creative arrangement of the images, but it explicitly denied copyright for the individual AI generated images themselves. What does that mean for you? That awesome AI art you made for your thumbnail. Someone else could potentially grab that exact image and use it, and you do have no legal power to stop them. The sufficient human authorship. The key phrase here is sufficient human authorship. The Copyright Office says that just writing a prompt, even a super detailed one, isn't enough to make you the author. The prompt is just an instruction. The AI makes the final, expressive choices. So, how do you get copyright protection? You have to add a meaningful layer of human creativity. Here's how. Substantial modification: take an AI image and bring it into Photoshop. Spend hours editing, combining it with other graphics, changing colors, and adding your own artistic flair. The final work is now a mix of AI and human creativity, and your human added work can be copyrighted. Creative arrangement: generate 100 AI images and then carefully select, crop, and arrange 10 of them into a unique collage or video sequence. The copyright doesn't protect the individual images, but it can protect your creative expression in selecting and arranging them. This is what happened with Zarya of the Dawn. AI is a tool, not the author. If you use an AI feature like content aware fill in Photoshop, the work is still yours. The AI is a very smart paintbrush, but you are still the artist. The action plan for intellectual property. Document everything. This is now critical. Keep detailed records of your creative process. Save your prompts, take screenshots of your edits. If your copyright is ever challenged, this document is your proof of sufficient human authorship. Modify and combine. Don't just use raw AI outputs. Always add your human touch. Edit AI generated scripts to add your voice and analysis. The more you transform the AI's first draft, the stronger your copyright claim. Check the terms of service. Read the fine print of your AI tools. Some might say you own the output, but that's a contract, not a copyright guarantee. Other free tools might give them a license to use anything you create. When registering copyright, you must disclose AI. The US Copyright Office requires it. You have to declare which parts of the work were made by AI. Hiding it is a serious offense and can void your registration. This intersection of AI data and IP is the most legally treacherous part of the new landscape. The safest starting point is to treat every AI input as public and every AI output as uncopyrightable. From there, you have to deliberately add and document your own human genius to claim it as your own. Section 3: Navigating the Global Regulatory Maze. We have covered platform rules and the legal landmines of data and IP. Let's zoom out to the actual government regulations that are setting the rules for the entire AI industry. For a creator, the two most important frameworks are the EU AI Act and the enforcement stance of the US Federal Trade Commission, which is actually FTC, Federal Trade Commission. Deep dive. The EU AI Act's risk-based approach. The EU AI Act is the world's first comprehensive law for artificial intelligence. Its core idea is a risk-based approach. It doesn't treat all AI the same. It sorts AI into 4 tiers of risk. Unacceptable risk. These are outright banned in the EU. Think government-run social scoring or AI that manipulates people into causing harm. You are probably not building these, but it's good to know where the hard line is. These bans started to apply in early 2025. High risk. This is the most heavily regulated group. It includes AI in critical areas like medicine, hiring, and law enforcement. These systems face intense requirements for testing, oversight, and documentation. Limited risk. This is where most creators will land. This group covers AI systems that pose a transparency risk, like chatbots and deepfakes. The law says you must make it clear to people that they are dealing with AI. This is the legal muscle behind the transparency rules we talked about earlier. These specific rules will be in full force by August 2026. Minimal risk. This covers most AI systems like AI in video games or spam filters, and the act adds no new rules for them. The key takeaway for you from the EU AI Act is its powerful enforcement of transparency. The August 2026 deadline is the date to circle on your calendar. By then, being transparent isn't just a YouTube policy, it's a legal requirement with heavy financial penalties. The US approach, the FTC as the AI cop on the beat. The US hasn't passed one giant law like the EU, but it's a huge mistake to see that as a free for all. Instead, the strategy has been to empower existing agencies, especially the FTC, to apply old laws to new tech. The FTC's main weapon is Section 5 of the FTC Act, which bans unfair or deceptive act or practices, and they have been very clear about how this applies to AI. Deceptive claims. If you don't disclose that a video is AI generated and it could fool a reasonable person, the FTC sees that as deceptive. This lines up perfectly with the EU and YouTube rules. AI washing, the FTC is cracking down hard on companies that make phony claims about their AI. If you say your product is powered by AI, you have to be able to prove it. The FTC's Operation AI Comply initiative specifically targets this kind of misleading marketing. Unfair practices. If your use of AI causes harm, like generating convincing scams or spreading dangerous misinformation, the FTC can go after you for that too. The FTC's message is simple. The rules of truth in advertising don't disappear just because you are using new technology. On top of that, new federal laws are giving the FTC more specific tools. The Take It Down Act, signed into the law in 2025, specifically targets non-consensual initiate images, including AI-generated deepfakes, and gives the FTC authority to enforce a 48-hour takedown process for platforms. State laws, a patchwork of rules. Adding another layer of complexity, states aren't waiting while an exact count is always changing. Lawmakers in dozens of states have introduced AI-related bills. These laws often focus on two areas. Election security. Many states now require clear disclaimers on any AI-generated content in political ads. Right of publicity. States are creating new penalties for using AI to create deep, fake, often explicit images of real people, or for using their likeness in ads without permission. New York's law 2025 on synthetic performance is a perfect example, requiring disclosure when AI-generated people are used in ads. The action plan for regulatory compliance. Default to maximum transparency with rules this complex and changing this fast. The safest strategy is to be as transparent as possible. The EU, the FTC, and the YouTube are all pointing in the same direction. Label your work. Stay informed on your niche. If your channel covers health, finance, or news, you will be under a much bigger microscope than a comedy channel. Know the specific risk for your subject matter. Put on your compliance hat. Even if you are a person, sure, you need to set aside time to think about this stuff. A few hours each quarter to research updates to YouTube's policy and FTC guidance is no longer optional. It's a core business function. Now, when to call a lawyer? If you are using AI in a risky way, or if you get any kind of official notice, don't try to win it. The cost of talking to a lawyer who knows media law is a tiny fraction of the fines you could face if you get it wrong. Section 4. Human oversight. the final and most important guideline. कितनी बैठ रही है? This last guideline isn't about a specific law. It's the core principle that holds all the others together. No matter how good AI gets, you, the human creator, are responsible for what you publish. Blindly trusting AI without a rigorous human review is not just lazy, it's reckless. AI's biggest flaws: hallucination, bias, and garbage in, garbage out. We have to be honest about what today's AI can't do. These models aren't thinking, they are incredibly sophisticated. Pattern matches, trained on the internet with all its brilliance and all its junk. This causes huge problems. Hallucinations. AI models have a nasty habit of making things up and stating them as fact. They will build sources, create fake statistics, and dream up details that are just plain wrong. If you use AI for research and don't double check every single fact, you are at serious risk of publishing misinformation. Hidden bias. AI models learn from our world, and our world is full of biases. Ask an AI for an image of a CEO and you might overwhelming get pictures of white men. An AI scriptwriter might use stereotypes without realizing it. Publishing that kind of biased content can wreck your reputation. Accidental plagiarism. AI models are trained on copyright material. There is a real risk that a model will spit out text or visuals that are way too close to its training data. If you publish that, you could be the one on the hook for copyright. No common sense or ethics. An AI doesn't get taste. It might generate a joke that's deeply inappropriate for a serious topic. It can't make the subtle ethical calls that define a responsible creator. Your real job: curation and quality control. This is why your human oversight is everything. Your value as a creator isn't just in creating ideas anymore. It's in the crucial acts of direction, crafting the perfect prompt, and creative vision, selection, sifting through dozens of AI options to find the gem, refinement, editing, rewriting, and bunching up the AI's outputs to give it your unique voice, verification, fact checking every single claim, ethical review, asking the hard questions: is this fair, is this tasteful, could this cause harm? Think of it like this: AI provides the raw marble, you are still the sculptor. Without your vision and skill, it's just a rock. YouTube's war on AI slop is aimed at people who forgot these channels that just publish raw AI output with no added value, no human touch, and no soul. That is a race to the bottom you are guaranteed to lose. The action plan for human cyber. Inside a new or published raw rule. Make it an unbreakable law in your workflow. Every piece of text, every image, every sound must be reviewed, edited, and approved by a human before it goes live. Create a verification checklist for any content with facts or data. Make a simple checklist. Was this fact checked with at least 2 reliable independent sources? Is the source for that statistic credible? Is that code verified? Use more than one AI. Don't rely on a single model. But more importantly, don't let AI do all your thinking. Keep reading, watching, talking to people, and having real experiences. Your unique perspective is your most valued asset. Embrace AI as a collaborator, not a replacement. The most successful AI creators see this technology as a creative partner. It's a brilliant, tireless, and occasionless, unhinged intern. It can brainstorm, research, and execute at lightning speed. But you are the creative director. You have the vision, you make the final call, and you take the responsibility. The future of creation isn't human versus AI, it's a collaboration. The creators who win will be the ones who master the partnership, harnessing the incredible power of AI while elevating it with their own human creativity, judgment, and integrity. CDA, call to action. I know that was a ton of information, from sweeping European laws to the fine print on YouTube's upload screen. It can feel like a lot, but this isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to prepare you. The rules of the game have changed, but the opportunity has never been bigger. By putting these guidelines into practice, you are not just avoiding risk, you are future proofing your channel and building a more trustworthy, sustainable, and valuable business. Now, I want to hear from you. This is a conversation, and we are all figuring this out together. Go down to the comments and let me know. Which of these guidelines was the most surprising or the most challenging for your own channel? Was it the copyright headaches, the details of the EU AI Act, or just the simple act of using the disclosure tool? Sharing your experience helps everyone. I will be reading through the comments and jumping in it. In conclusion, so let's bring it all home. The AI revolution isn't coming, it's here. And it comes with a new set of responsibilities. You have walked through the four pillars: radical transparency and labeling your work, protecting yourself from the data and IP nightmares, understanding the global regulatory maze, from the EU to the FTC, and finally embracing the most critical rule of all: maintaining rigorous human oversight. This is a moment of huge change. There will be creators who ignore all this, who kept cutting corners and hope they don't get caught. Those channels are living on borrowed time. And then there will be creators who see this moment for what it is: a chance to professionalize, to build, to trust, and to lead. By embracing these guidelines, you are positioning yourself as a credible, responsible authority in your field. You are building a brand that will last forever. Don't just be an AI user, be an AI leader. That's how you survive, and that's how you thrive. Thanks for watching.